Up first, new developments in the accusations against Deshaun Watson. A criminal investigation has been opened into the star quarterback.
And another lawsuit is set to be filed accusing Watson of sexual harassment during a private massage session, bringing the total number of lawsuits to 22. Grace White getting legal insight tonight into what a criminal investigation will mean for Watson. Grace?
Up until today, HPD says they had nothing to investigate. They had not received a complaint or evidence on Watson, but that changed today.
In a case that's played out on social media, Houston police chose to tweet the latest development. Today, the department received its first criminal complaint against Deshaun Watson.
Well, make no mistake, today things change. This case is no longer about money. Now it's going to be about truth.
KHOU 11 legal analyst Carmen Rowe says expect to see law enforcement drilling down on the facts.
And they're not interested in a payday. They're interested in finding out if there's victims out there.
Watson's attorney, Rusty Hardin, saying, "We welcome this long overdue development." As for Tony Buzbee, he announced a 22nd woman coming forward to file a civil lawsuit and says other criminal complaints will follow. So far, all the lawsuits accuse Watson of sexual misconduct or sexual assault during private massage sessions. Realistically, Rowe says it could be months before we hear from law enforcement.
There's nothing simple about this many allegations. There's nothing simple about having a high-profile client who is, again, alleged to have committed some very serious allegations.
Allegations now in the hands of Houston police to find the truth. Grace White, KHOU 11 News.